Hello, Dan Hasler here from Cut Through Coaching and Consulting. And in today's edition of Talking Points, I'd like to explore the idea of brainstorming. The idea that, our organization is faced with a challenge or a problem that it needs to be solved. And this strategy or this tactic of bringing in usually the best and brightest from around the organization, sit them around a table for a day and just brainstorm potential solutions. Of course, brainstorming, has a long history of being, proven successful, otherwise we still wouldn't do it. But I do wonder if there might not be another way, an alternate way to brainstorm. And I've been thinking about this a lot in our work with clients as I watch them brainstorm. And typically this is kind of what happens. The problem is put out there, and people will sit around and it will say, okay, who's got an idea? Let's talk about this. And usually ideas will be thrown out willy-nilly around the table, and until someone says, oh, that's a great idea. And often I'm left reflecting on, well, define great. Is it a great idea, or is it just the best of what we've come up with so far? And given the caliber of the ideas we've been having, it's still not that great. So was it really a great idea, or was it actually just put forward by the most confident person? Was it an idea that seemingly got the approval of the people in the room that matter, whether it was either a nod of the head or a little knowing look to somebody? And is that what directed the meeting to pursue this great idea? Sometimes ideas are shut down too early because we know that a lot of people might want to try and make them look more intelligent in these meetings. And one way that people think they can do that is by closing down an idea, by pointing out the frailties of it, by pointing out why it wouldn't work, by pointing out how we've tried this in the past, in an attempt to appear more wise, more intelligent, more important. So what I want to do is throw you a different way of thinking about brainstorming, or actually 3 things to consider. So the next time your organization is faced with an issue, and perhaps you're the person in charge of corralling the troops to think about things, the first thing I want you to do is not invite everyone into a room. What I want you to do is ask people to go away to their own spaces, off campus, as far away as possible from the context with which the problem has arisen. By getting a different context, a different perspective, we're able to think differently. We call it in leadership getting on the balcony, being able to get up above the run-of-the-mill, the everyday things, in order to refresh our thinking. So the next time you want to bring everyone together, don't. Send them away. And what I want you to ask them to do when you send them away is not brainstorm potential solutions for this perceived problem, but rather brainstorm questions that we need to answer in order to dig deeper into the problem. I've seen this work particularly well when we challenge the kind of hunches that we have around client issues or community issues. And when we dig deeper, we get a far better understanding of the problem, but also the people whom the problem affects. Often we try and solve a problem without knowing a person's wants, a person's needs, or a community's expectations. So by brainstorming important questions, we're able to challenge our context, challenge the narrative, challenge the mindset, and usually we come up with more context sensitive and better, to put it bluntly, better solutions in the long run. So we're sending people away. We're asking them to brainstorm questions, but then when we bring them together, and this is the most challenging bit of this, is that when we share the ideas around the room, the table, the organization, we withhold judgment. So what I mean by that, there's not a nod, there's not a knowing look, there's not a, oh, that's a fantastic idea. There's nothing until we've heard all the questions. There's nothing until we've allowed every person in the room or who's got a say in this. We're not moving on, we're not judging anything until we've heard everything. Because sometimes ideas never get heard because the confident person has come up with it and we've decided to run with that. So that's my 3 challenges for you next time you need to brainstorm. First thing, send people away. Second thing, don't ask them to brainstorm solutions, ask them to brainstorm questions. And thirdly, hold off all that judgment, even if it's a compliment, all that judgment until the end. And after you've got this bank, this suite of questions, that's when you can start digging. And I would wager with you, you're likely to find better ideas and better solutions once you go down that path. Hope that's worthwhile. If you enjoy these things, please subscribe to the Cut Through Coaching channel. If it resonated with you, leave a comment. If you thought it was rubbish, leave a comment. And until next time, take care and take it easy.